listening to your brain on air. The program will begin shortly. Enjoy.
Ακούτε τον εγκέφαλό σας στον αέρα. Το πρόγραμμα θα ξεκινήσει σύντομα. Απολαύστε.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Vogt Larson, and it is Hot Take Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Hot Take Tuesday. Let's hear that hot take from our first Hot Take Tuesday guest.
Hot take. The lady in Minnesota was trying to drive around the ICE agent, but hit him with her car because she's a woman and bad at driving.
Guys, I mean, if there's no better way to introduce Tuesday to you, I don't know what else to say. I love it. Thank you very much for that original clip. It's from Unk. I forgot his name. It's on Instagram. I'll leave it in the description of this video because it's a fun video and he's a fun guy. He's got a cool t-shirt on that says, "Oh, I woke up gay again today." And it's really funny. It's awesome. He's one of my favorite people that's out there right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We have a fun one in store for you. There's a ton of shit in the news to cover. There's a ton of shit happening in pop culture. You know, there's a lot of stuff we could choose to cover. There's a lot of things that we can choose to divert our focus to. So, I'm going to go ahead and start it off with probably the lighter of all of the topics that I've selected. You know what? I want to keep the light energy up so much so that, you know what? Do we have intro? Yeah, let's run the intro music for this segment because I think it's going to help really set the tone. ICE operations continue in Minnesota, encouraging a lovely atmospheric vibe just before MLK Jr. Day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. I mean, it's been 57 years since he died. Can we get over it? Let's be honest. We're not any closer to his harmony, his dream, anything that he dreamed of or whatever. He actually dreamed of a welfare state and actually redistributing the wealth among, like, racial lines and all those sorts of things, which, listen, there's reasons that he held those beliefs and whatnot. I'm not calling MLK Jr. a radical by any means. I mean, there's elements of whatnot where it's like, you know, who's the two people in X-Men? Because I heard that X-Men, what's it called? X-Men, who's Malcolm X and MLK, because they were based, the two main people who fight in that, okay, Professor X, apparently the X-Men comics were inspired by the civil rights movement, metaphorically representing the different approaches of Martin Luther King Jr., MLK, and Malcolm X through the characters Professor X, MLK, and Magneto, Malcolm X. What? Okay, apparently this is real. Though the creators never explicitly confirmed this, later associating X-Men with broader themes of oppression, with writer Chris Claremont comparing Xavier and Magneto to Israeli leaders instead, notes Medium. Both MLK Jr. and Malcolm X, leaders in the civil rights movement, used distinct tactics, nonviolence versus black nationalism, but aimed for black liberation, a dynamic paralleled in the X-Men's core conflict between peaceful coexistence and mutant supremacy, with modern interpretations highlighting their shared goals, despite different methods as seen in shows like Genius, MLK-X. Interesting. I didn't know that. I literally had to Google this. I apologize. I'm not that well prepared for that moment. But, like, I didn't know that. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but apparently I heard something along those lines. I just looked it up. Apparently it's real. Apparently they were kind of vaguely whatever, pulled from those. I heard it from a Matthew Santoro video when I was like a child, but you know what? MLK Jr., he's a fun guy. I miss him a lot every single day. He seems like he would have been really chill to hang with, you know what I mean? He cheated on his wife a ton. He was listen, if Coretta couldn't give good throat, what else was a player to do? And people don't talk about that when we teach them about him in schools, which I understand entirely. We don't love to talk about the Marilyn Monroe stuff when we talk about the Kennedys, so I perfectly understand it. You know what? Let's just get into the main story. Happy MLK Jr. Day. We're still going to probably have a broadcast for it. ICE operations in Minnesota are still remaining intense today, with federal agents continuing the large-scale enforcement under what's called Operation Metro Surge. If you didn't know, they're already having suits brought against them, trying to halt their activity in the cities. We're going to get into that further, but This effort began in late December of last year, 2025, and it brought more, not bought, I mean, you can buy people, not legally, but you can still nowadays, and it brought more than 2,000 ICE agents and customs and border protection agents into the Twin Cities area, outnumbering local police forces in St. Paul and Minneapolis combined. The Trump administration describes it as the largest immigrant enforcement operation ever. I mean, in my home state, I love it. I love the attention. Let me just say this. I miss Minnesota before it went mainstream. When all you people knew about us was Paul Bunyan. Like, that's the era of Minnesota I really miss. They said they were focusing on removing criminal undocumented immigrants, including those convicted of serious crimes like murder, child abuse, drug trafficking, and domestic violence. Over the weekend alone, ICE reported removing numerous individuals described by some as the worst of the worst from Minnesota streets. Tensions have also sharply risen following the fatal shooting last week. On January 7th, an ICE agent, shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, mother of 3, and poet, don't forget poet article, during the confrontation in Minneapolis. It was intense, and the video is available. There's multiple angles now. Thank God that there's multiple angles, because I love the internet now, because we can look at situations from every single possible angle and then really know exactly what happened. And I love that. I want truth to come through in all of these sorts of situations. There's been clashes between demonstrators and agents already, some involving tear gas, pepper spray, other chemical irritants, and growing community fear. Reports highlighted incidents like federal agents using force during encounters, including at schools and at protests, while local businesses have closed temporarily due to safety concerns, and some schools have shifted to remote learning. Oh, it's like 6 years ago. Remote learning. I haven't heard that in a minute. I want to go ahead and reference this clip from Fox 9 Minneapolis St. Paul, as it's one of the local people that we have on the ground. But in response, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, along with the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, filed a federal lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security just yesterday. They argue that the massive deployment is unconstitutional, calling it a federal invasion and causing chaos, violence, and harm to the residents. They are seeking to halt the operations and secure a temporary restraining order. Despite the legal challenge, federal officials say the enforcement will continue, with around 1,000 additional agents reportedly on its way to Minneapolis to support ongoing efforts. So 3,000. You're taking the number you already had and you're 50%ing it. You're adding 50% of what you already had. They already had 2,000. They're adding 1,000 more. I think my math is all right on that. If you're better at it, clock me in the comments. They said they want to ensure the agent safety. I mean, maybe. In case you didn't know, I was, I was born in Becker County. It's a very beautiful area and whatnot. The county seat is Detroit Lakes, and Fergus Falls is a city not too far to the south. These cities, I love them. They're the core of my heart. Fergus Falls is dog shit, but Detroit Lakes, core of my heart. I love Detroit Lakes. Fergus Falls has some good elements, but like admittedly, it's desecrate. You know, there's very few people on the streets. Its downtown area is a mess. They have nothing close to Bucks Mill. They have nothing close to the nightlife that even the North Side Bar has at like Detroit Lakes. Like, come on, you have nothing compared to these people. But that's not the point. Don Pablo's, a very popular Mexican restaurant. I believe it was Mexican. I'm going to try to get... I better get this right before I'm fucking dumb. Don Pablo's Family Mexican Restaurant. It says temporarily closed here when you look it up on Google. I know that not to be true. This is permanently closed. They have listed, this was 2 days ago, that they are closing until further notice due to unforeseen family circumstances. Essentially, if you didn't know, Fergus Falls and Detroit Lakes, they're rather northward, you know what I mean? They're rural communities of Minnesota. They are getting smacked now with ICE. There's ICE agents in Detroit Lakes. There's ICE agents in Fergus Falls. There's ICE agents up here. It's nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? Like, for a lot of people, especially who, like, know migrants, I personally don't know very many, you know what I mean? I try my best not to associate with known criminals, because, like, if you're in the country illegally, I don't want it. You know what I mean? I've met some personally. I will say that. I've never made efforts to keep them in close contact. You know what I mean? That's not in my interest. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't doubt that I've met people who were illegal and didn't ever tell me, because why would they trust me with that information? You know what I mean? Whatever. Let's consult this on the ground reporting. Let's do it.
The ICE agents here in Minnesota is set to continue to grow today.
The federal government is promising to continue ICE operations here despite a lawsuit filed to put a stop to the escalation. Our Bill Keller is live. He's at the Whipple Federal Building with what's happening right now. Bill, good morning.
Oh, good morning. That lawsuit, by the way, filed yesterday in federal court, accuses the federal government of targeting the state of Minnesota as a way to punish political opponents in blue states. Attorney General Keith Ellison says the number of ICE agents here in the Twin Cities, reported to be about 3,000, far surpasses the number of police officers in both Minneapolis and St. Paul. State and city leaders say that the scope of this enforcement activities we've been seeing has been having a big negative impact on everything from businesses to schools. The lawsuit calls for federal agents, though, to stop using what they call excessive force, to stop wearing masks during raids, and they're demanding that agents wear body cameras.
This surge has made us less safe.
In the move of body cams, absolutely. By the way, did you notice that most of the time in certain cities, you know what I mean, they throw body cams on all of the cops, and then immediately things go in the cops' favor because it captures people, you know, misbehaving during interactions. It catches people like trying to run away. Have you ever go on Midwest Safety, go on any of these really fun cop body cam YouTube channels, and you will see clip after clip after clip of these people like antagonizing police, running away, instigating these interactions. And I'm just going to say it. Since the integration widely of body cams, like it seems like everywhere has them now, statewide and whatnot, it seems like nowhere you can interact with a police officer and they will not have a body cam on you. It is... In many ways, I think a lot of them also are in favor of it. Many agencies have immediately asked for them after trial programs. They've been like, can we get these back afterwards? Because it helps them more often than it doesn't. If they have some benevolent eye over them, some godlike force, which is the law, through that body cam watching over them, it's like Christianity. You're encouraged to be a little bit nicer because the law will wreak hell on you.
Thousands of poorly trained, aggressive, and armed agents of the state, of the federal government, have rolled into our communities, overwhelmed our local police departments, and law enforcement agencies should be focused on our public safety, but instead, many are dealing with the aftermath of DHS agents' chaos and violence.
If the goal was immigration enforcement, if the goal were simply to look for people that are undocumented, Minneapolis and St. Paul would not be the place where you would go. There are countless more people that are undocumented in Florida,
what?
And Texas,
what?
And Utah.
What? Wait a minute. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Minnesota has no undocumented? None? At all? When did we check that? Did Jacob Fry count them by head? That's my guess. That's my assumption.
Why are they in these much smaller cities in the middle of the Midwest?
For fear.
Is very clear. It is politics.
It's for TikTok. It's for TikTok so that we can get good edits of like a Venezuelan getting thrown into a snowbank. So that TikTok, the White House can post how based it is. Like, oh yeah, sure, we aren't delivering on as many deportations as we promised. We promised millions in the first year. It was only 605,000. Just make mean-looking videos on the internet and, like, make it look like we're going really, really rude and shit like that. Make it look like we ain't gonna let performative cruelty. It is because you are not able to deliver on the actual numbers you promised. You over-deliver on the cruelty. You over-deliver on the mean. You'll give them Pokemon edits. You give them, like, it's just like, you try to make jokes about it when I don't think any other administration has done it. Like, Obama never did it like this. Obama was never out there making TikTok edits of the kid that he killed with a drone strike. He was shameful about it, or he doesn't talk about it. You try to bring it up in an interview, and he's like, that's, he doesn't have a great response to it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, there's his rhetoric. Yes, we are well aware of this. Yes, they are in the middle of the Midwest for TikTok edits.
In response, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem called the federal lawsuit an illegal action by corrupt and activist politicians. The case will now make its way through the courts, of course, and there is no clear timeline yet as to how long it'll take before a judge can hear this and make a ruling. Meanwhile, there are reports that even more federal agents are on their way to the Twin Cities. Minneapolis City Council member Jason Chavez says that 1,000 additional agents are expected to arrive in Minnesota, and he is urging his constituents to be careful while running errands and asking for help from the community if needed. By the way, the Whipple Federal Building here, which is now the base of operations for these ICE agents, has also been the focus of a lot of anti-ICE protesters. But over the past 24 hours, you can see behind me the entire complex now surrounded by barricades. This morning, we've seen a few vehicles driving, honking their horns. For the most part, it has been pretty quiet as federal agents prepare for another day of Operation Metro Surge. But we are expecting a fairly large turnout here in the next hour. Back to you guys.
Right. Okay. Bill Keller for us there live. Thank you. And from that location to another location, I want to take you live now to Portland Avenue in Minneapolis. That is where the memorial for Renee Good, the woman shot and killed by ICE agents, continues to grow. Just days after her death, ICE agents and activists in vehicles we have seen continue to clash.
And new videos from the weekend show ICE agents asking someone if they learned their lesson. This video is from Sunday in Shakopee. The agent accused the driver of following officers. A similar situation.
Shame on you.
Listen. Have y'all not learned from the past couple of days?
Learned what? What's our lesson here? What do you want us to learn?
Following federal agents.
Give me my phone back.
Oh my goodness.
She did eventually get her phone back. Fox 9 has more videos.
I'm sure she did get her phone back eventually after all the nonsense. Listen, guys, I miss civility when ICE was looking for fellas. When ICE used to look for fellas, and you know, I'm talking about the Obama era. It was so much more. You know what? I actually think I have a video. I have a clip of an ICE agent. This is real. This is historic footage. I believe this is 1996. This is a couple years before I was born. And essentially, this is a clip of an ICE agent asking a few ladies from Minnesota. This is historic footage. This is real. Where she can find an illegal. And this is how ICE used to operate in Minnesota. This is how it used to be. Let's roll this clip.
Yeah, we both did. She went to college, too. I went to Normandale for about a year and a half. Yeah, that's where we met. But I dropped out, though. Yeah, she dropped. Yeah. So where you girls from? Chaska.
The sewer?
But I went to high school in White Bear Lake. Go Bears.
Okay. I want you to tell me what these fellas look like.
Well, the little guy, he was kind of funny looking.
In what way?
I don't know, just funny looking.
Can you be any more specific?
He was Venezuelan or something.
I couldn't really say. He wasn't circumcised.
Was he funny looking apart from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you were having sex with a little fella then?
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else you can tell me about him?
He offered me a gram of pure Colombian.
No. Like I say, he was funny looking. More than most people, even.
What about the other fella?
He was a little older. You know, he looked like the Marlboro Man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But maybe I'm saying that, you know, because he smoked a lot of Marlboros.
Uh-huh.
He said he wanted Newports, but he said he couldn't get them outside the Home Depot.
You know, like a subconscious type of thing.
Oh, yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
Hey, they said they were going to the Twin Cities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, is that useful to you?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it happened, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they caught him. Hey, they said they were heading down to the Twin Cities, yeah. Folks, I mean, operations, they've spread beyond the Twin Cities with ICE and border activity reported in places like St. Cloud, Rochester, Mankato, Wilmar, Shakopee, and yes, good old Detroit Lakes. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait for Detroit Lakes to become a well-known spot. It's already where Congresswoman, Detroit Lakes robbery. Yes, Detroit Lakes robbery. This woman, I want to remember her name. Yes, Senator Nicole Mitchell. I missed her so much. I hope she's doing well. She's still been she's been sentenced. You know what I mean? She broke into her. She'd been charged with felony burglary. It didn't go very well for her. I'm still offering legal counsel, Nicole, if you really want. If you come on the show, we will rehabilitate your image. Get your dementia-ridden stepmother on here, and we can interview her too before she croaks. The situation is remaining really highly charged. There's a ton of shit like this. There's border patrol agents smashing a guy's window and dragging him out of a car. You got a Honduran outside a speedway. Oof. Yeah. Yep. It's about as merry of melody as you guys could hope for. It's not going great down there. Oh yeah, and there was a student walkout apparently for not the ICE raids, which I'd understand. Kids, they want to stand up. They're like, oh shit, this is kind of like our era. We got to stand up to the ICE shit. No, they did a walkout for Renee Good. What? Hold up. The audio's low. Put up this audio. Put it up. Don't make me look like a fool.
In Roseville, students are holding a walkout to protest the ongoing ICE operations. A large group of students, you can see from Roseville Area High School, walked out of class this morning, started marching, and then you can see gathered on a bridge with signs to show their concern and solidarity.
Blocking traffic.
According to local Facebook groups, this protest is entirely student-driven.
Entirely look at, kids, they're going to get out there, they're going to make some mistakes. That's what college campuses and STDs are for. But if you want to do an even more fun version of it, go out there and make Molotovs with your buddies. And I'm not saying do that. I'm saying that's what these people are doing. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. There's no Molotovs. They're sitting with signs and stuff. They're having fun, candlelight vigils. I'm enjoying that. I like that we've been keeping it peaceful. That will allow us to avoid any sort of nonsense like back in 2020, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of deep divisions between state, local leaders, federal government. The FBI's trying to cut bitches out, you know what I mean? It's a ton, and you know what? We will keep you updated as this fast-moving story develops. But in the meantime, for the ICE and Minneapolis story, that's all, folks. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We are on our way. We're on our way to our next story. Story number 2, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to break this. I don't want to break this story because it's going to make a lot of people hurt. It's not going to make me hurt. I was not a particularly big fan of his movies. As a matter of fact, the main one that I know him from, it is one of the most overrated films, maybe in movie. No, not in movie history, but it's very overrated. Hollywood actor, ladies and gentlemen, Timothy Busfield. Timothy Busfield. Arnold Poindexter from Revenge of the Nerds. That's what everybody knows him for. Well, he's wanted for child sex abuse charges. What? I know, you're going, what? Ugh. Let's talk about it. The 68-year-old Emmy-winning actor and director, best known for his roles in shows like The West Wing. Good enough show. I didn't even notice that he was in there half the time because I was just focusing on, what's the actor's name? I'm just going to look it up. I'm a fraud. Is it Bradley Whitford? Oh, God damn it, Bradley Whitford. Yes, Martin Sheen. And then Martin Sheen. Yes, he was great as Jed Bartlett. Great show. I like it. It's very good. Aaron Sorkin. Oh, I love Aaron Sorkin's writing. He's very good. If you haven't seen Steve Jobs or what's the other one that he wrote? You know what? I'm done recommending things. Aaron Sorkin, you get it. He's known for also 30-something. He's facing an active arrest warrant issued last Friday by the authorities in Albuquerque, New Mexico. According to the police, affidavits, not affiliates, affidavits and court documents, Busfield is charged with 2 counts of criminal sexual contact with a minor and 1 count of child abuse. These allegations stem from reports by 2 young boys who are twin brothers and former child actors. The incidents are said to have occurred on the set of the Fox television series The Cleaning Lady. Never saw it, never heard of it. I don't know. Is it good? That's my question. Any situation like this, you got to ask the question. Yes, Dan Schneider I don't know what he did or didn't do. But were the shows objectively good? Kinda they were. I mean, apparently. I mean, listen, Zoe 101 I wasn't the biggest fan of, but iCarly, Victorious, undeniable bangers. They're very good. Busfield both acted and directed these episodes that these kids claim to have been abused during. The alleged abuse apparently took place over a period from late 2022 through to early 2024. One of the boys claiming inappropriate touching began when he was just 7 years old, happening multiple times between takes or on set. Jesus Christ. The other boy has also reported similar incidents. The investigation began in November 2024 after concerns were raised at a hospital, triggering mandatory reporting and leading police to interview the children and their families. As of today, Timothy, he remains at large. Can you believe this, guys? An actor remaining at large. This story literally broke, 2 hours ago from the New York Post. As of today, he's remaining at large. Authorities saying he has not been found or located since the warrant has been issued. The Albuquerque Police Department now is enlisting the help of the United States Marshals Service to track him down, as they believe that he may have left New Mexico. God, I gotta learn how to read right so I get this information out clearer. He may have left New Mexico. There. This developing story has shocked many in the entertainment industry, with some networks already pulling episodes featuring Busfield in response. Remember, these are allegations at this stage currently, and Busfield is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. We're going to continue to follow it as these updates are going to drop, but I want to jump into this clip so you guys can hear it.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Timothy Busfield on allegations of child sex abuse in New Mexico. The actor and director is best known for his roles in Field of Dreams and the TV shows 30-something and The West Wing.
You want to have dinner with me? No. I'm a very good-looking guy, CJ. I mention that because not some people notice about me right away. Yes. I like seafood. I like all food. Danny. I should also mention I'm a lively conversationalist. I'm very good at kayaking.
Now the U.S. Marshal Service has joined...
Man, he seemed really desperate. I really hope that desperation doesn't lead him doing something ridiculous in the real world.
I'm a lively conversationalist. I'm very good at kayaking.
Now the U.S. Marshal Service has joined in the hunt to locate the 68-year-old who is wanted on 2 counts of criminal sexual contact of a minor and 1 count of child abuse. The Albuquerque Police Department confirmed that its investigators are working with the U.S. Marshal Service to track down the West Wing actor's whereabouts and take him into custody in connection with the disturbing allegations. The investigation into the matter was launched in November 2024 when an officer was dispatched to the University of New Mexico Hospital after a doctor called police about suspected sexual abuse and grooming, according to court docs obtained by KOAT. An officer reportedly spoke with 2 parents who claimed that their children were actors on the Fox series The Cleaning Lady in 2024. Busfield allegedly engaged in unlawful sexual conduct with a pair of 11-year-old twins while directing the Fox show, according to an arrest warrant issued on Friday. One of the alleged victims claimed the shocking incidents first started when he and his brother were 7 years old, according to the affidavit. Although the APD initially declined to press charges against Busfield, the case was said to have been reopened in September 2025 when one of the kids told the counselor and then pediatrician that Busfield touched him on his penis and bottom, the affidavit claims. The Revenge of the Nerd star also allegedly told the kids to call him Uncle Tim and tickled them on their stomachs and legs per the arrest warrant. Busfield, who worked on the program for...
I mean, this is like, you hear the stories of old creepers, like... Call me uncle. Like, what? These are like so... These claims are so... What's it called? They're so, like... If this is all true, which I'm believing at this point that it is, he is the most old school pedophile I've ever maybe seen in my life. Like, ever maybe. He has the disheveled gray look, the beard that's like untrimmed, what's it called? The alcohol lines on his forehead and whatnot, like, and like the ill-fitting sweaters, everything about this person communicates guilt. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. What took so long for us to notice? What took us so long? He looked like a creep in the movie. Poindexter was never a character that I looked at and felt comfortable. Never.
From 2022 to 2025 as a director, allegedly grew closer to the boys during their time shooting the show together. Busfield, meanwhile, reportedly spoke to investigators by phone in November and said it was highly likely he had physical contact with the twins while filming The Cleaning Lady.
He's what? He's self-reported? What? He's on an earnings phone call or something, and he's like, by the way.
I don't remember those boys, he also said, according to the affidavit. No, I don't. I don't actually. I don't remember it if it happened. I don't remember overly tickling the boys ever, but it wouldn't be uncommon for me. During that interview with...
Oh, my God. Talk about a shoddy defense. If I did it, I wouldn't remember it. If I did it, I wouldn't remember it. But I don't even remember those boys, but I don't remember. What do you... His words are spaghetti.
Police, the 30-something alum reportedly claimed that Elodie Young, the lead actress on The Cleaning Lady, told him that the twins' mom was seeking revenge because the boys were not invited back for the show's final season. Busfield has more than 700 combined credits as an actor, producer, and director in TV and film, and married Little House on the Prairie star Melissa Gilbert in 2013.
Melissa Gilbert, dude. Oh, I haven't thought of her in years, man. Notable child actress in the late 1960s. I mean... Looks like she's deleted her Instagram account amid her husband's child sex abuse allegations. I mean, that's not surprising. I mean, Melissa Sue Anderson would have probably been... Like, I always liked Mary on Little House on the Prairie more than Laura Ingalls Wilder, in all honesty. Wilder? Yeah, that's Wilder. I'm retarded. Michael Landon was always my favorite. He had that luxurious, beautiful hair. He died at 54 years old. Can you all believe that? Michael Landon Sr. He was an American actor and filmmaker. He's best known for his roles as Little Joe Cartwright in Bonanza and Charles Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie. And he died, like, really early. I don't know. How did he die? Well, how did he die? Cause of death. Please tell me. He was a heavy smoker and drinker. He died of pancreatic cancer. He died on July 1st at the age of 54. I mean, that's not fun. This was a little side detour to talk about how much I liked Little House on the Prairie. It was a very cute little show.
In November, Gilbert made a post on Instagram against child sex abuse after Megyn Kelly commented on convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The 61-year-old has since deleted her social media. Gilbert is not accused of any wrongdoing. The allegations against Busfield remain under investigation.
Yep. Well, we'll see how those things pan out. Given how I look at this person, given how how reliable both of these kids' testimonies seem to be or seem not to be yet, I don't know. We have to sort it all out in trial. I'm going to go ahead and make the call that maybe he's going to get thrown under the jail, is my assumption. Because normally you don't have state police and, interstate police after you if you were not guilty of nothing. I mean, I personally, wouldn't you be out there to be clearing your name first things first? Like, hey, I'll turn myself in and answer every question you want. Normally, running doesn't impede it doesn't make you look the most innocent. Would everybody agree with that analysis? All right, whatever. Folks, tough story, especially if you're a fan of whatever he made, but it's whatever. Things like that happen. we need to jump into the rapid fire section of today's headlines, folks. There's a lot of shit going on, especially around Trump and Iran, quite frankly, that we're just going to cover. Quick headlines that you need to know about to keep your media diet healthy. Number one, we got Trump urging Iranians to keep protesting as the deadly unrest is continuing. The death toll has already risen, allegedly, to over 2,000 people killed in these protests. I mean, do you want to compare them to the ICE protests still? If you do, that's not being able to tell two unlike things apart. U.S. President Donald Trump took to social media urging citizens in Iran to continue the anti-government protests, take over your institutions, saying, help is on the way. He also canceled all diplomatic meetings with the Iranian officials until violence against demonstrators has stopped. The appeal comes amid the largest protests in years in response to economic collapse and sharp currency decline. There's also been a large crackdown. There's, like I said, death toll reported in the thousands. Multiple outlets report now that the unrest in Iran has resulted in well over 2,000 deaths amid the nationwide protests against the clerical establishment. Iranian authorities have also severed in the internet and phone services to restrict the informational flow. As we've already heard, though, there's the Skynet, other ways that people are being able to access the internet. The United States is also threatening 25% tariffs on countries doing business with Iran. The Trump administration announced 25% tariffs on imports from any nation doing business with Iran, escalating economic pressure on Tehran, especially as potentially straining relations with allies. I mean, not fun. The central bank chiefs rally in support of the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. Central bank leaders and major bank CEOs issued a rare show of solidarity, backing the Federal Reserve chair, Jerome Powell, after Trump aligned criminal investigation and threats of indictment targeting him. Man, I mean, he must be innocent if all of them are going and backing him up. Trump prosecutor Jack Smith to testify publicly to Congress. A special counsel Jack Smith, who previously brought later dropped criminal cases against President Trump, will testify publicly before the House Judiciary Committee on January 22nd. The Trump administration's federal probe escalates also the political backlash. The administration's criminal investigation into Fed Chair Powell is drawing a lot of rebuke from economists, former Fed chiefs, and even some Republicans, highlighting growing domestic concern about politicization of independent institution. Global political risks also. Water scarcity is identified as a key threat for this year, apparently. A major annual geopolitical risk report identified cross-boundary water scarcity and disputes over shared resources as a growing political pressure worldwide. The United States Department has revoked over 100,000 visas since Trump's return to office. Also, the State Department revoked over more than 100,000 visas under the Trump administration as part of a hardline immigration policy shift. Very fun. The United States has also signaled a possible diplomatic engagement with Iran. Despite the tough rhetoric, the White House spokesperson suggested that President Trump is still open to exploring diplomatic engagement with Iran, adding nuance to overall response strategy. I mean, good and fun. Final headline that we're going to cover: Iran's regime rejects backing down amid the protests in the United States pressure. The Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, publicly asserted that Iran's government will not yield to protest pressures or external threats, reinforcing its stance that even as nationwide unrest continues. Not fun for Iran. Hopefully they can arrange something that works for everybody. I mean, let's get into our third story, ladies and gentlemen, and then I will dismiss us all. Thank you so much for being here as long as you have been. I mean, we're having a good time. I'm having a great one. I hope that you've enjoyed the stories I've collected for you as much as I've enjoyed curating them. We got one more fun one to close out today, and we got Mamdani's cabinet. It has a flurry of speculation and rumors that are clouding any major reform they would ever be able to get done. Folks, this story is making waves in New York City politics right now. A newly resurfaced video from 2020 shows Tamika Mallory, a prominent activist and one of Mayor Zohran Mamdani's transition advisors on community safety and criminal issues, speaking passionately at a rally in Minneapolis following the murder of George Floyd. murder of George Floyd, according to this article, I would say the death of George Floyd. I wouldn't say that it escalates to murder for sure. You know, it's arguable, especially given that the autopsy person said that there were no signs of outside pressure being the cause of his heart failure. Whatever, that's okay. Me and this article can disagree. In the clip, Mallory said that she didn't care if Black Lives Matter protesters burned down a Target store. She reportedly declared, "I don't give a damn if they burn down Target," while arguing that corporations like Target should have been out on the streets demanding justice instead. She also suggested that demonstrators had learned all violence from white people. The remarks have sparked fresh controversy now that Mallory is a part of Mamdani's advisory team as he begins his term as mayor. I mean, it's originally from the height of the 2020 protests. It has been highlighted by outlets like the New York Post. Critics call it inflammatory and question what it says about the direction of public safety policy under the new administration. Mallory was one of more than 24 people tapped from Mamdani's Community Safety Transition Committee back in late 2025. Supporters of the mayor point out that these were comments made in the heat of a national moment of outrage over police violence, but opponents argue that it is a troubling attitude toward property damage and law enforcement. Let's look at this clip.
Resurfaced video from Fox Carolina is going viral on X, featuring one of Mayor Zohran Mamdani's transition advisors on crime, raging that she didn't, quote, give a damn. FBLM rioters torched a Target during the 2020 George Floyd protests that swarmed Minneapolis.
Enough is enough. And we are not responsible for the mental illness that has been inflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target. Because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve.
The woman in the video, Tamika Mallory, was announced in November as one of more than 24 people tapped to serve on Mamdani's Community Safety Transition Team. In the fiery 2020 speech, which was dubbed by some as the speech of a generation and garnered significant media attention, Mallory went on to claim that, quote, America has looted black people.
Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you.
Mallory, a Harlem native, has been a longtime community activist and was one of the founding members of the Women's March. Mallory and two other founding members, Linda Sisor and Mari Lynn Bob Bland, found themselves in hot water after being dogged by accusations of anti-Semitism. In February 2018, Mallory attended and received a shout-out at a Nation of Islam Louis Farrakhan event, in which the firebrand anti-Semite called Jews satanic, claimed they ran the American and Mexican governments, and were encouraging marijuana use among black men to their detriment.
Where's the lie, though? I guess. I'm just kidding.
As criticism of Mallory's attendance at the event flourished, the activist took to X to damage control. This is a thread. It seems I am not being clear. I am and always have been against all forms of racism. I am committed to ending anti-black racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, and transphobia. This is why I helped create an intersectional movement to bring groups together. During an episode of The View, then-host Meghan McCain ripped into the anti-police activists for attending the
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was one of my favorite members of The View, and I supremely miss her. Ever since she's been dropped, it sucks because now they don't really have a conservative voice, so it forces the some of them to take positions that make them really, really angry at each other. Anna Navarro is stood out as one of my favorites on the show now. Like, I'm sorry, she really sticks it to Sunny. And I'm sorry, Sunny, she knows bits and pieces, but her overall understanding of international law and whatnot is shoddy at best and whatnot. So Anna Navarro really served her ass in that latest episode. It was great. Let's continue.
event.
don't speak for Jewish people, but I think I'm just confused. These remarks are, I mean, it goes on death to Israel over and over again.
We did not make those remarks. You can't.
But you're associating with a man who does publicly.
What I will say to you is that I don't agree with many of Minister Farrakhan's statements.
Specifically about Jewish people.
As I said, I don't agree with many of Minister Farrakhan's statements.
You condemn them?
I don't agree with these statements.
The Women's March organization cut ties with the trio in 2019, claiming the leaders served out their terms.
Sure.
Since the Women's March upheaval, Mallory continued to find herself broiled in controversy.
Do you guys ever have moon pies? Moon pies. Let me look up this. I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. Yes. This food, it's like a little, it's an American snack. It's popular across a lot of the United States. It consists of 2 round graham cracker type things. It's got marshmallow filling in the center, dipped in a flavored chocolate coating. It's often associated with cuisine of the American South, where they have traditionally been accompanied by an RC Cola. But I've eaten them signaturely, like I eat them alone. I just eat like a moon pie. Just eat a moon pie. That's be an adult. You know what I mean? And if you're really a fucking child, go ahead and like melt it a little bit or put it in a freezer or whatever you do. I just eat it straight out of the packaging like a fucking adult. I'm sorry. That's how you're supposed to eat moon pies. This woman has one of the most evident moon pie faces I've ever seen in my life. Moon pie face. It has the little tiny dimples. It has the little imperfections. But overall, it's just this smooth surface of just like a round face. This woman has the most perfect moon pie face I've ever seen in my life. Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating thing. Tamika Mallory.
While continuing her activism. In one interview with online entertainment outlet The Jasmine Brand, Mallory made it clear that she supported abolishing the police entirely.
So I definitely support defund the police. I'm not the author of it, but I have adopted the language because there's a big difference between abolishment and defunding. Abolish police would be to get rid of police forever, right? And I am an abolitionist.
Mallory has not landed an official job with the Mamdani administration, though her controversial remarks are among the latest to resurface from advisors or aides linked to the Democratic Socialist mayor. Catherine Almonte da Costa abruptly resigned in December, soon after she was appointed as the city's next director of appointments, after newly unearthed social media posts revealed a series of anti-Semitic comments, including her rants about, quote, money-hungry Jews, and defunding NYPD, quote, piggies. Mamdani's radical new tenant advocate, Sia Weaver, recently came under fire too, for previously blasting homeownership as a weapon of white supremacy.
I'd actually love to talk about Sea Weaver. Sea Weaver will be probably our final clip that I will play for you today, ladies and gentlemen. On a separate but related note, another one of Mamdani's key housing advisors. This is not someone that's just like, oh, whatever, I talked to this person on social media, I don't really know them. She's a key housing advisor for his administration. Is drawing a lot of scrutiny. Sea Weaver, C-E-A, and then just Weaver. I know it's a weird first name, but I can't judge. Mine is A-L-E, Ali, I like it, it's cool, whatever. Whom the mayor appointed on his very first day in office to lead the city's office to protect tenants, has long advocated for bold changes in housing policy, including ideas that lean toward, get ready, socialized or collectively owned housing. Weaver has spoken in interviews about a vision where housing is provided universally, potentially financed entirely by the government, and she has criticized private home ownership and property in strong terms in the past. Mamdani, as we saw, she said it was a product of white supremacy. Mamdani, a self-described democratic socialist, has defended both appointments, emphasizing their focus on protecting tenants and building the city equity. All of this, is stirring up debate, but I want you to hear it directly from the cow's mouth, you know what I mean, whatever the term is. This is nutty shit. This is actual crazy shit when you hear someone talking about, like, hey, maybe we should just abolish private property. What? Let's hear it.
What I am envisioning is a world in which the housing is owned by a collective and people are paying 30% of their income.
30% of their income to live here.
In order to live in their housing. If your income is zero, you pay zero.
If your income is zero, you pay zero. So if you don't go out and fucking work, You pay zero and you just get to live in this. You don't have to pay. You don't pay anything.
If your income is $500,000 a year, you're paying 30% of that, and the government is providing the sort of. The government is the sort of owner, or not even the owner. The government doesn't have to be the.
She doesn't even know what she wants to do. She's like, the government's going to be the owner, but not really the owner, because like socialism doesn't have owners.
Not even the owner. The government doesn't have to be the owner, but the government is what's making sure all of that sort of works in cash flows.
The debt to GDP ratio right now is the highest since World War II. So how can the federal government also afford to start subsidizing rental housing costs?
The federal government prints money.
She says the federal government prints money.
Government can provide money for them.
So it's by printing money.
Sure.
So it's by printing money. And she goes, sure. I love this. I love people with a clear vision. I love people that have been literally charged to lead the largest city in America. And by the way, if people are going to go, oh, you're really right-wing for criticizing a Democrat politician, he's not a Democrat. He's a socialist. That's a very key difference. I'm not okay with socialism. I'm not down with socialism. That's it. I'm down with the limited levels of socialism we have, and I even think that we need to make cuts to them. I'm saying that the level of socialism we have already in America is too high in some regards. That we have to gotta bring it down. That we gotta cut some stuff. We gotta knock that shit off. Like in reality, there's some people that really don't need that level of support because it encourages laziness. It encourages people to not do anything. That's regrettable, but it's true. If you continue to pass people checks, or if you continue to give people checks because they just have kids or whatever, it's not going to encourage It's not going to encourage ingenuity. It's not going to encourage business. You're going to have a stagnant society that is more interested in just killing each other, or who can have the biggest family to get the most money from the government. That's really what you end up with at a certain point. So I am, whatever. All I'm saying is that if this is too truthful for you, I don't know what else to say. It's directly from their mouths. And if you're down with, community-owned housing, if you would rather give up all of your private ownership of shit, and you would rather move to collective ownership, if you would rather move to all of that sort of stuff, I invite you. There are community. Did you know that a gentleman attempted to make something like this? It was called Jonestown. It was in this little remote village, and where was it? Guyana, I believe. This lovely little country with limited to no human rights laws, but that doesn't really matter. Like they would tie people upside down, hang them in wells, and things like that. But they had communal ownership of everything. Like everybody owned everything. You know what I mean? North Korea, and whatnot. That is communal ownership. You know what I mean? Mao's China, communal ownership. The USSR, communal ownership, guys. It's everybody's equal because we force it to be so. And it's beautiful, and it's a beautiful vision, and I hope that everybody supports it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, folks. That's all for me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast as much as I did. Had a fun time gathering these stories for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Subscribe if you want more, like if you liked it. We have 5 episodes every week. Hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I will catch you in tomorrow's broadcast. In the meantime, this has been Ollie Vogt Larson with your Brain on Air. Thank you so much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you in tomorrow's broadcast. Bye-bye.